When I was at school, I heard people being called attention seekers, being called weak because they had a mental health problem, and that also made me not want to speak out because obviously I didn't want to be seen as weak or an attention seeker. So it meant that when I was diagnosed with a mental health problem, I didn't talk to any of my friends at school. In fact, sometimes I lied about what I was doing when I was going to therapy because I didn't want anyone to know that I had a mental health problem. My physical and mental health was getting worse and I couldn't really hide it anymore either. I did sit my parents down and I tried to explain what was going on. It was quite difficult because for me it was still something that I didn't understand. I didn't understand why I couldn't just eat. I think I knew something was wrong. I didn't realise at the time that it was anorexia because in my head I wasn't thin enough because I'd seen all the portrayals of anorexia in the media, for example, and so it was actually my friends who spoke to a teacher at school and said that they could tell something wasn't quite right, that I wasn't quite myself, and so they spoke to a teacher who then spoke to me, and she helped me to realise that there was no shame in experiencing what I was going through, and that actually speaking to my parents was a way of just letting them help me. I have had a lot of different types of stigma, and one is from the media asking quite intrusive questions and not quite understanding that that anorexia is a mental illness. So asking for pictures of when I was really unwell, and for me I was as unwell when I was underweight as when I was fully weight restored and still battling in my head with the voice of anorexia. And I think that's one thing with eating disorders that people don't often understand, and it's something that I'd like to change. For me, to start with, it wasn't just talking, it was writing songs and playing them to people so they knew how I felt, and writing poetry as well. For me, it was easier to write it down and to show someone than to be in a situation where I had to speak face to face with them. If someone was to say that someone with a mental health problem doesn't really do much and they just stay in bed all day, my reaction to that would be, well, some days just getting out of bed is a massive achievement for someone with a mental health problem. And actually, to me, sometimes it's as big an achievement as someone else climbing Mount Everest. And although my mental health problem has played a part in my life, it doesn't define me, and I am just a normal human being just like everyone else. Together we can all help to reduce the stigma and discrimination surrounding mental health.